Hello.
Hey guys.
So
Apparently
how
my
is
video
everyone?
turned off.
Neeraj.
Yeah, this is Neeraj. Dov, you and I have been active on LinkedIn, so I don't know if you know, but that's a common ground for most of the people.
Yeah,
So,
I think.
so
Let's let the room fill. And
yeah.
what I propose, open your cameras, everyone. And when the room fills, look at everyone's eyes. See who is going to join us in the following 50 minutes or something like that.
So just
and
a
say
disclosure.
hello with your eyes. If you
Yeah,
can, like, let's keep it silent and say hello with your eyes. But on the other hand, if you don't turn on your camera, probably it's hard to say hello.
So just a disclosure, I'm having bad internet connection, so I may end up dropping in and out of it, just so you know, in case if I'm speaking or you're speaking or somebody's asking me something and you don't hear back.
I might have a heart attack in the following 15 minutes. Life happens, it's okay.
Right, so it's already happened since I joined this. It got disconnected.
No problem. But let's keep it silent and just see who joins.
Sure.
And look around. Because in fact, what we're going to have now, believe it or not, it's a meeting. And since you're here, I guess you're here to understand how we make our meetings better. So let's start by acknowledging the people who are here.
Sorry to interrupt just before we start some housekeeping items. So we are recording this meeting. I hope everyone's okay with that. Or let me know if you want me to stop the recording. Let's go ahead with the discussion. Thank you. Yadav, all yours.
So welcome everyone. Before I start, I would love if you can think for yourself. Don't say anything, but think what would make these 50 minutes worthwhile. What can happen in the following 15 minutes, 50, right? That will make you be happy that you are here. And if you have an idea, I would love you to put it in the chat. Don't say it because if everyone will say it, we'll have a discussion with a lot of things that are said and nothing that is done. This is lovely. Awesome. So I'll tell you my intention for today. I've been digging into how to hack meeting culture for 3 or 4 years now. And I've created a tool for this. And when the remote thingy, the COVID, whatever, came, there's a lot of things that changed, but in fact, for me, not really. So I don't, since you're all, I guess, from the Scrum or Agile domain, a lot of people say Scrum just surfaces problems to the makes them visible. For me, it's the same thing with remote meeting. A remote meeting, when it sucks, it probably means that your meeting sucked to begin with. And all of the symptoms that you usually hang on, bad connection or delay or whatever, my thesis is that they were there to begin with, that this working remote only augments them, only brings them to the surface, only gives you an excuse to do what you did before, but in a hidden way. So if before you were not present in a meeting, now you have an excuse of being present by not turning on your video. But you were not present there to begin with. So this is one thing that I'd like to say. However, we will address things that are specific to remote meetings. So, by the way, just to check that everyone here is in the right place, can you raise your hand if you never were in a meeting that sucks?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, if you were never in a meeting that sucked, please raise your hand. Yeah, so at least for the people with the video, I see that not a lot of you are here. And for the people without video, if you raise your hand, you can go to another session. It's okay. I won't be offended. Okay. So one thing that I won't do this workshop, but my thesis that there are a lot of elements to a successful meeting. It can be, do we start on time? Do we end on time? Are the right people there? Is there action items? Is there a plan? You know it better than me. The one essential thing that makes a meeting work or fail, I think, is presence. Is one, are the people who are there present in the meeting? So in a meeting like this, it means, are you like this in a meeting, or are you like this in a meeting? Are you fully here, or are you part-time here? Or are you just listening to see if some keywords will be turned? And the other thing, which is more important, is the presence of the group itself, the presence of the team. Okay, so, and these two are crucial. There's a lot of meetings that work well without agenda, and they don't start on time, and there's no action items, but they're awesome meetings. Something surfaces. Sometimes it's something concrete, like we decide to do together that we didn't plan when we entered. Sometimes it's just a matter of energy or getting to know each other. But when people are not present, the meeting fails, in my opinion. And the question is, how do we build this presence? So I'll show you today 3 tools, one of which I created, and the other 2 I did, because I did only one. And they're tools that are helpful to build this presence. But before that, I would love to share with you some ideas that are not necessarily tools. One, regarding presence, and again, no criticism. I'm sure that all the people with no video have a good reason to be without video, but see how, if you're in the screen that shows everyone, how the fact that some people are sort of absent, it makes the energy of this room lower than it could be. Do you see that? So one big and important advice that I will give you is nudge people to turn their video on. And in fact, allow them to have their video off. Only say, if your video is off, it means that you're not in the room. Okay, so if you go to the toilet or to, I don't know what, to make some coffee, then it's okay. If we don't see you, we assume that you're not here. Okay. This is an advice that I think is important for you to manage your team's energy well. And another one, I'll give you 2 more. Another one is, someone said before, how do we have 3-hour meetings? And the answer is very simple, we don't. In this situation currently, and by the way, also in real life, assuming this is not real life, having a meeting that is longer than 45 minutes, you start losing people. Their presence diminishes, their listening capability, their creative capability diminishes. So if you have to have a longer meeting, a structure inside, this is my advice, not only mine, structure inside a 5-minute break and insist with the people that in this 5-minute break, they get up and move. They get away from the screen. They don't check emails. They get up, they dance in the corridor. They wash their face. They refresh themselves. And they come back after that, rebooted. Okay? So this is the second one. Another one, I guess, one way to wake up people is to play games, icebreakers. And this icebreaker, an icebreaker that I love, which is this. So everyone turn on your microphone. If you have a video, it's only the people who have the video play. Okay? So everyone with the video, turn on your microphone. Okay? And now we're going to pass the ball from one to the other. Okay, so when I throw the ball to you, you have 3 seconds to throw the ball to someone else. Otherwise, you're out. Okay?
Wow.
Are you ready? So, yes. Shiba.
Murli.
Okay.
Yep. Ram Hunjeram.
Srinath.
Srinivas.
Raki.
Dheeraj.
Dov. So,
Niraj.
yes.
That's it. So you lost. And this is a great way to wake people up. And you can play it more advanced. So everyone takes an object from the desk. Okay, and then I can throw you a pen and you catch a cup. Okay, and then you throw a cup and someone catches a notebook. And it's a really fun way to wake people up. But I wanted to show you another one, which is more important because, again, I talk about the problems that we are not aware of this space that we share now. And this is the delay. So I would love us all to, if you don't mind, get out of your comfort zone, and we're going to sing together the song that we sing now when we wash our hands. Happy birthday to you. Okay? Are you ready? But we have to sing it in synchronization. Okay? In one voice. Are you ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday, dear
Birthday
to you.
What happened?
We were out of sync.
Yes. Why were we out of sync?
I heard a lot of people singing. It was like, trailing. Like somebody was leading with the happy birthday and the other was trailing with the happy birthday. So,
yeah. So the reason for this is because there's a big lag, a tenth of a second, perhaps.
Yeah.
Only 10th of a second multiplied by a lot of people creates a big lag. And what happens is that when I tell a joke, when I say something, and you do this, but you do this in a small delay, I have the feeling that I wasn't heard. And it has nothing to do with whether I was delayed or not. It has to do with my habit of how to work with people face to face. Okay? And if we are aware of this, then when I tell a joke, I'm waiting for people to laugh a little bit more. I'm not immediately offended and think that they didn't understand. If I explain something and I don't see this wave, that's another reason, by the way, to have a video. To see this wave of people saying this or this, you see that the room is understanding. So, and if I don't see it fast enough, I get the wrong impression and I start to explain again, and then I get the wave and it creates a problem. So this is a great way for people to realize that even if we have the illusion that at some level we are one near the other, there are limits. And we have to recognize these limits. Yes, Mwali.
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions. Right now, you talked about people nodding and then through gestures to body language, you come to know about whether they are listening or they are not paying attention. Fine. But most often what happens is I am presenting something on the screen. I'm only seeing the PowerPoint presentation that I am presenting, but not the people on this screen. So in that case, it probably may not work out. So this is one area. And
Wonderful. No. Let's do, first of all, not too many questions because I didn't even start talking about what I want, but two, let's have question, answer, okay? So what I would advise you is to do as little presentations as possible and as much face-to-face talk as you can. And two, there is a tool that I use called, I'll tell you in a second. There's two tools, in fact, that I can recommend, but again, we're going sideways, but it's okay. A tool called ChromaCam. In ChromaCam, you can load a slide deck and project it in your back. So you can go slide by slide in the back of your background.
Okay. Would you mind typing it here in the chat window?
It's a tool that costs money, by the way. But
because there was one application that I know of, and it was working only in Mac.
So this one I use, and I have a Windows.
Because I have a Windows machine as well.
Okay, so this one, try this one. Okay. And the other one, by the way, because a lot of people complain of background noise, there's a tool that I adore and I use a lot called Crisp, which filters background noise in a very intelligent way. So if I could have a dog here barking and you wouldn't hear it.
Okay. There's one more question.
I will put them in a quick one and then we'll start.
Okay. So I encourage, as you said, I encourage people to come on video. So we know they are present. However, the complaint that I hear is their network is bad or they do not have the bandwidth and hence they cannot come online. In fact, they switch off my video as well. So that's a logical problem that I'm facing.
So one setting that I found with my camera is to make the frequency of the camera lower. Okay. Try it. But even if not, say, let's start by 3 minutes seeing each other and then turn out.
Perfect.
Okay, but I want to see where you are.
Yes, I want.
So that's the, okay. So these were some tips about how you can make your online meetings better. And now let's go to the tools. So the first tool that I want to show you is in fact, I'm going to show you 3 card activities. The first one looks like this. It's called the Meeting Spicer. And this is something that I created, started 3 or 4 years ago. And the version that I'm going to show you is a version that is dedicated to remote meetings. So for this, I will remove my background because it will not allow me to show what I want you to show. I want you to see. Yes, okay. And again, now you see part of my home. See? So can someone give me a number between 1 and 10?
3.
What?
You got a lot of numbers.
I'll take the 6. 7. So I take the 7th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And today we start the meeting, assuming that we started by this activity. Okay. So let's try this, cardiac coherence. Propose a 30 seconds cardiac coherence exercise to participants. Don't know what it is? Learn about it for next time. So I'll tell you what it is because I know what it is. It means that for 30 seconds, the whole team is silent and breathes together. So someone sets the rhythm. And when it's done, we did about 20 seconds, you just start a meeting, okay? Why is it a good exercise? Because it's a sort of a check-in that allows the team to synchronize. When I said we need presence of everyone and of the team. This exercise is great to bring the team together. I don't know if you believe in cardiac coherence or not, but we just shared an experience. And this sharing of an experience before we start brings us as a team to a more synchronized place. And if before the meeting, this is, I remind you, a way to start the meeting. If before the meeting you thought about your kids that are in the background, and I thought about the dishes that I have to clean, and everyone, now at least part of this, we shifted into a common thinking. Okay, so now we are more synchronized. Never mind for what, but we are more synchronized. So this is one example, but there's, so let's find others that are like more simple, let's say. Yes. So this one is really simple, okay? Read this card, then ask someone, what is the meeting's agenda, okay? So I don't know who to ask, but I have to ask someone. So Shiva, what's the meeting agenda?
To talk about remote meetings.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. I won't put you on the spot, but the fact that I have to ask someone and the fact that no one knows who I'll ask and the fact that at the end someone said something and the fact that after they said something, you agree or disagree, brings us to a place that's more present in the meeting that we're having. And like, there's a lot of types like this. Oh, here's one that I love, okay? Ask everyone to think silently for 20 seconds. Am I ready for this meeting and how did I prepare? Just think, I'm not asking anyone anything, but I dedicate 20 seconds of silence for everyone to think. And after this, I know that I know how I prepared because I thought about this or how I didn't prepare, but I also know that everyone thought about the same thing, okay? Or like there's another similar card saying, what outcome, a little bit like I started, right? What outcome am I expecting from this meeting and what outcome would I love to have? And now as a meeting facilitator, I know that everyone has an image of that magic outcome of the meeting. It makes me more sharp and it makes everyone a bit more more directed toward the goal that they have, because before that, they didn't think what goal they had. So this is a set of cards. And by the way, I don't know if you saw, but there's a magic. I show you this card, but I read it at the same time. And this is because we designed these cards for remote meetings. So they are printed on both sides. So I can show it to the camera and read it at the same time. Okay. So this is the first part out of a four-part magic trick. The second
You're very smart. You're very smart. You're very smart, I said.
It's ideas, and also it's a teamwork. So I'm part of a team of two.
Where can we get these cards, Dov?
You can get these cards. Go to meetingspicer.com, which will put you into Facebook. But I'll show you how you can use this card. I wouldn't present this if you couldn't use it without buying it. So I'll show you how to do it without buying. Okay.
Okay, sure.
So another way, like another part is this. So we have cards to end the meeting. Same thing. So when we end the meeting today, perhaps we will have this card, okay? Ask everyone to think silently for 20 seconds. How do I feel now compared to the start? Did the meeting energize me? Did it drain me? And how come? Okay. And you just think about it, no discussion. Thanks a lot. Take care. See you next time. Okay. Or it can be cards like, think for 20 seconds. I have a lot of cards of think for 20 seconds. I love that. Will I remember this meeting tomorrow, in a week, in a month? And what will I remember? Just think about it. It's a space to think. Or read this card and answer aloud. Are all participants still in the room? And if not, who is missing? Okay, so a lot of different aspects on different levels of, I don't know what, going out of your comfort zone to help the team to some fun exercise to check in and check out if you want. And we have also cards that are role cards. So who wants to be the meta today? Okay. And the role of the meta, which is written on the other side, is to just observe and write down what happened on the meta level. The energy started real high and then it dropped when someone asked this, and then it, I don't know what. I want to hear that at the end. Or who's the meeting owner, by the way? It's a good question to ask, right? Or who's the facilitator? Who's the timekeeper? So that's the first tool that I want to show you. And before before I go to the others, I'll show you how to do this also for free. So if you go to my site, which is dovtsal.com, or in fact, I'll give you the URL directly here. And I'll share the screen with you to show you what I want to show. So you can, we can't share a screen. Okay, so Shiva, can you allow me to share a screen? Or can you share the screen of this file? So basically what we have is an online version, a PDF, where you roll a set of virtual dice and you get 1 out of 18 cards. Okay, so can you click on the English one, the first one?
This. Where do you want me to click, sorry?
Yes, this one.
Download now?
Yes. And in fact, you can share the file with the people at the end, but can you open the file? So what you do, you open the file, go to the 3rd page. Yes, and in this page, in fact, can you give me 2 numbers between 1 and 6?
5, 3.
5 and 3. 5 and 3. Okay. So 5 and 3 means let's try this today. Finish early. Okay. So in this meeting today, we'll finish 5 minutes ahead of plan. Okay. This is the activity for today. Tomorrow it can be different. It can be ask someone what's the meeting agenda, or you know, some of them you saw. The next page, if you can, yes, it's the same thing for the end. So you just ask 2 people to give to give numbers, or you have a link here only. I think the link closes the PDF because it should be in the browser. But there's a link here that throws 2 random dice if you want. So look, if you click on the link, let's see what happens. Yeah. Does it work?
No, I don't.
Okay. So you have to copy and paste the link. So that was the first tool. Okay. I promised you 2 more. So one of them is really easy. And it's a tool that looks like this.
Dov, can I stop sharing?
Yes.
And are you taking questions now?
Let me take them after this section. Okay.
Sure.
So there's a set of non-verbal cards. So like you could have asked the question that you asked before like this, right? So you don't have to interrupt. You just ask this. And if someone doesn't see what you said, then you can interrupt. Or this one is a very popular one. Right? Or, do you know this one, by the way? Does anyone know this guy? Yeah, so
enough, let's move on.
Yes. So, and there's a lot of cards here. You're breaking up. No, this is be right back.
Be right back. Be right back.
Could you mute yourself? Yeah, or you're on mute. And this one is really great. Right. Okay. So this is called a collaboration supercards. Yeah, so you know them. And I think you can download a sample of them in Lizette's site. And the third one is something that I love, but perhaps before that we'll go into questions if we have the time. Yeah, we have the time. So questions. But before that, I have a question. Do you find this helpful?
Yes,
Yes,
this is interesting.
Interesting.
So
very creative and interesting though.
So now I would love to answer like 2 or 3 questions before we move on. If you have some, you don't have to.
I have a question, though.
Yes?
I have a question similar to what Murli had asked earlier with respect to reading the cues of the audience when we are presenting, right? I think the tooling and the alternative that you gave was brilliant. But many a time I do see participants, like in terms of getting their responses. Are they nodding their head? Are they happy? Are they feeling sleepy?
Yeah.
We as a facilitator got to read that up, right? We need to be on our toes.
Your microphone is breaking up.
I'm sorry. We need to, as a facilitator, we need to read their cues. We need to read their, body language much better, right?
So I would just say, like, the second part of this meeting, which probably we won't have, is about language. I have a strong dislike to the word need. We would love to read their body language. Like it would be great to live. Need is not something that. So, okay, but this
I
just had to put it in from the other part.
I love it.
How do you? I love that.
So,
How do you engage with some audience who don't open up, who don't express, who just have a stone face and making it hard for you to actually, understand and align accordingly?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you will like my response by respecting it. Like here we have some people who are not, who didn't open the cameras. Do I insist with them, and to what level? Right. So if someone doesn't want to show you their emotion, this is what they show you now. Like you can't, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Great one. Thanks.
Really, it's a matter of respect, I think.
Sure thing. Thank you, Dov.
Sure. Yeah.
This is Srinath here. So I'd like to, what is ChromaCam used for?
So ChromaCam is one, it's a filter, like it's a filter that allows you to change your background and stuff like that. But for me, the best use of it is that you can upload to ChromaCam a set of slides, and then you show your slides in the background. And I can shrink myself, like I,
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So
yeah, Crisp is a good tool, but then all are paid. I think Crisp, ChromaCam is $29 or so. Crisp were $4 a month. I think that's what I've noticed. But Crisp is very good. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, this is a good, wonderful tip, actually, Dov.
But just to add to that, Dov, I mean, one of the problem is, I mean, these tools are great, but then if you're working in an organization, you're restricted by the tools you can use or not use.
Yes.
And,
so my advice
to
you is use what you can and don't use what you can't.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I was just bringing it for the audience so that even though we may have great tools, but sometimes you're restricted by the place you're working, regardless whether as an employee or a consultant. You're limited by the environment.
Like really, I talked to someone 2 days ago who said, I wish I had Zoom, but I have Teams.
Right.
And I think that when he says this, he blocks himself from using Teams. Teams is a tool that has limited functionality, but it has a functionality. And if you spend all of your time that you use it to say, I wish I was using another one, you lose a lot.
Nope.
So that's life.
In fact, you're absolutely right. I mean, I've worked through different organizations that, on consulting assignments. And currently where I'm working, Team is what we're using. I never used Team before that, but now I use Team every day. And before that, we were using WebEx or something else. And
before that, we used, I don't know if you remember, but we had the telephone. And before that, we exchanged letters. That's life. Any other question?
Yeah, so just one thing I would like to share for that problem of sharing the screen and at the same time viewing the participants. What works really good for me is I have put up an additional monitor as a split screen. So while I'm sharing one screen, I can see people on the other, and that works beautifully for me. So wanted to share that. One question I have, Dov, is the cards that you shared earlier. So do you just pick up random cards in every meeting, or do you do everything?
It depends. So it's formally you pick a random card. Only if you're a good facilitator, you pre-select the 10 or 20 cards that are suitable for this meeting, for this audience, right? So it's like a good magician. You let people pick, but you do something before you let them pick. Okay.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Thank you. Quick time.
Yes.
Sorry, quick time check. So we have around 5 minutes for this meeting.
Okay. So 5 minutes is not a lot, but we can try. So the third tool is a tool called the debriefing cube. And it's a tool that was made for debriefing. It was made for, we'll do it really simple. Let's say that this session is over, and now we want to learn something. And we don't have a wonderful facilitator that will help us. What do? First thing, we throw a cube. Okay, so the cube fell on this. You see it? Okay.
Yeah.
The 6 sides, it fell on this. Then we pick a card with the same symbol, which is this. Okay, so we take one of these cards. I have more, but I pick 2. Okay, so the top or the bottom? Which one? Top. Okay. So what does this experience remind you of in your day-to-day? So the meeting that we had now, what does it remind you of on your day-to-day? Like 2 or 3 answers, short ones.
Day-to-day meetings.
Okay, so
Facilitator's
it reminds
guide.
you normal meetings. Like, okay. Anyone else?
Facilitator's guide.
Okay. And someone
Feel
else?
like I feel like we are doing our sprint review along with the users where I'm giving my tool demo or my application demo that this is how it works. So I feel that.
We have 3 minutes. I will cut you. How was this meeting similar to what you just said?
I think she was talking about this meeting only.
Yeah, the question is, what does this meeting remind you of?
See, what I see from this meeting is like it's how to engage more. That's how I see, engage more with the team.
Okay, so third question is, what insights does it give you? And you will probably answer. And fourth is, does this present any opportunities? Okay, so each card contains a wizard of 4 questions that follow one the other. And as we pick the card with the film, it's a takeaway card. Okay, there's also emotion cards and group dynamic cards. It's a pity that I don't have more time to show you this tool. It's really great. Even
where can we get these cards?
You can get it at a site called thedebriefingcube.com. Okay, so in the 2 minutes that we have left, I'll write it down. The debriefingcube.com. What this will give you is the link to a PDF that you can download and print them yourself. And I don't know if they already updated it or not. Perhaps it has also a link to where you can buy them. So these were 3 tools that I wanted you to get to know how to hack your meeting culture remotely or not remotely, because as I said, it's more or less the same thing. Just out of curiosity, can we have a fist of 5? I want to see how much did we get close to your perfect meeting that we talked about in the 5? So no 4s, huh? Ah, yes, 1 4. Great. Moali, why 4? What can we do to do it 5 next time?
Meet in person.
What?
Meet in person.
Yeah, no, I said, what can we do? Not what would you like to do in a fantasy world?
So we have less than a minute left, so it's almost time up.
Okay.
Can I take a quick screenshot, please, everyone? Cheese.
So hold on, I'll give you the cards, right? So like this and this, and this, I don't know, yes. Cheese.
Done.